Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Sports Scene, which is devoted today entirely to rugby. On Sundays throughout the next 8 months or so, BBC Television will be bringing you the best rugby action from matches in Scotland, the UK and from abroad. But we're kicking off our rugby season with the big match from yesterday's opening of the McEwen's National Leagues. We take a trip down to the border country, to lovely Riverside Park in Jedburgh, for the First Division and Border League clash between Jed Forest, last year's Division 2 winners and Border League champions, and Hawick, who finished runners-up to Kelso in Division 1. Tremendous local interest in this fixture as Jed seek their 4th consecutive win against the famous Greens. And an important visitor in the crowd yesterday, and a keen rugby fan too, as we hear now from our match commentator, Bill McLaren.
And a very welcome visitor to Riverside Park is the moderator of the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland, the Right Reverend Professor James Aitken-White, who is in the district to bring the greetings of the General Assembly to the Presbytery of Jedburgh and to the borders. Tomorrow's taking part in the celebrations of the 850th anniversary of Jedburgh Abbey. It was said actually that the first city referee ever to take charge of a Border League game returned home and being asked how he'd got on said, "It's not a referee those borderers need, it's a missionary." Well, I don't know whether that's the guise of Professor James White today, but let's hope that his presence here will put the players on their best behaviour as he goes across to meet the Jed Forest side, having taken leave of Gerald Adams, the Hawick president, and they're meeting Bill Maben and the Jed Forest side. It's a Jed Forest side that has a new fullback in George Dixon, who joined this season from St Buzzel's. A very nippy back division with a new hinge as David Shield came over from Melrose to join forces with the Scotland B scrum half Gary Armstrong. And they operate behind a lightish but a very mobile pack with 3 young Tigers as the breakaway unit. And the hooker is the captain, Jimmy Rayburn. Gary Armstrong, who's very much in the running for a full international cap this season, having already played for the Scotland B side. 3 international players are missing from this Hawick 15. Stephen Sutherland comes in at centre for the injured captain Keith Murray, and a somewhat makeshift back 5 with the 21-year-old Alistair Emery coming in as an 11th-hour replacement for the injured Derek Turnbull. But the old firmer at half-back, Colin Gass and Greg Oliver, are in harness for the 155th time. And the deputy captain for the day, playing as number 8, is Alistair Campbell. And Greg Oliver, a great rival with Gary Armstrong for the Scottish scrum half berth this season. Today his 155th game along with Colin Gass. An Anglo-Scot born in Hamilton who played for Hamilton in the west of Scotland is the referee today, David Leslie of the Manchester Society. And it's Colin Gass who gets the game started. Hawick playing with a slight breeze and conditions here at Riverside simply perfect. Lovely sunny day, pitch in great condition. A credit to the groundsman here, Harry Wright. And it'll be a great battle between the 2 number 9s here, because Greg Oliver was in Zimbabwe with the Scots, got his 1 cap against Zimbabwe in the World Cup. But Gary Armstrong is the current South number 1. And there Oliver pinching it, but may have picked it out of the scrimmage. And a penalty to Jed. Now Jed have taken it quickly. Armstrong, Shield. Lovely little shimmy, good chance here as McKechnie goes, out to Douglas, Douglas over halfway, gives it to Amos, Amos chased by Stanger, very good cross kick, back goes Oliver, called for the mark. Oh, a lovely pass out there from Gregor Sharp and the clearance by Nick Bannerman. That was a lovely bit of play by the Hawick fullback. He was under intense pressure, and yet there he is, the youngster, 21, who got away a lovely flick pass that enabled Bannerman to clear. Knocked down by Neil McElroy. Pinched by Rennick. Oliver. Oliver nicely out to McGuigan. Hawick penalised again. Trying to handle the ball back from the ruck. And David Leslie's probably saying, get up onto your feet. And don't fiddle about with it down there in the middle of the ruck. That's the halfway line. There's the distance of his kick. The breeze is difficult to judge. It seems to be coming more across the field towards our side here. But this lad certainly can kick the distance. David Shield once gave Hawick their only National League defeat in 1985 with 5 penalty goals for Melrose. Can Shield open the Jed account? Oh, he's given it a great smack. It looks a useful kick. Just got over. Lovely kick by David Shield. First blood to Jed Forrest, leading by 3 points to 0, and they played just 16 minutes. So Jed again inside the Hawick 22 and looking much the livelier. Hind wins it. Armstrong, Shield, McKechnie, Harry Hogg on the big run. Runs into McGuigan. And once again, notice that about 12 bodies on the deck, whereas New Zealanders would want to avoid that and stay on their feet and win a good loose ball. But Harry Hogg, very powerful, the biggest of the Jed backs. Good hold in by Kirkpatrick. Armstrong, Shield thinking of the drop goal attempt. Nicely out. There's an overlap here as Douglas feeds it out to Dixon. Dixon to Hogg. Hogg tackled in at the corner. Ball lost over the line. A great opportunity for Gary Armstrong as Hogg fed the ball back inside. Just in the act of diving over. And all kinds of panic stations here for Hawick. Lovely heel, Armstrong, Shield, missed out McKechnie, this is Douglas, missed out Dixon, gives it to Hogg. Hogg, well tackled by Thompson, the feed inside to Douglas, Douglas to Shield, Shield in real trouble, all kinds of green jerseys there, but extricated himself very well, although put it straight out. Now, David Shield really was a bit unlucky there, because when the ball came back inside, there were about 4 or 5 Hawick jerseys right on him, and he really did well to clear the ball. Hawick 22, Tomes palms, but again you'll notice that loose ball and Jed getting through the line out, and David Leslie's been very strict on line out obstruction. Gregor James McKechnie taking his time, just a little snip at it, it's a beauty, and so McKechnie puts Jed ahead by 6 points to 0. They're on half-time, they've played 40 minutes, and that's not a bad lead to have thus early, and especially well deserved for Jed because of their territorial ascendancy. The whistle goes for half-time. Jed Forrest leading by 6 points to 0. Deservedly, they've had most of the territorial advantage. They've produced quite a bit of wide play, and their forwards are going well too. And one of the great Jed Forrest Rugby Club enthusiasts, John Cairncross, who played as hooker for Jed Forrest and has been one of the great match secretaries and has helped to keep this club going over many, many years. So 40 vital minutes ahead as David Shield gets the second half going by kicking dead, and Stephen Sutherland quite rightly just let it go for the dropout to Colin Gass. And I think the situation here now is very much one where Jed will want to keep the forward pressure on Hawick and keep spinning the ball wide when they can, and Hawick will be looking for some points on the board. Gass with the restart, Kirkpatrick with the catch, and Hawick going round, is it? No, pulling the man down and holding him down and not allowing fair release. Get on your feet, says the referee. So Gregor James McKechnie taking his time. He knows how vital this one is, even thus early in the second half. Oh, it looks good. He struck it dead plumb, and that really is a vital goal indeed for Jed. The second penalty goal for Gregor McKechnie, and Jed Forrest are leading by 9 points to 0, and they've played only a minute and a half of the second half. So it's all up to Hawick now as Colin Gass goes for the long one. Harry Hogg didn't intend to play it, hoping it would run over the goal line, but reacted very quickly indeed when the ball sat up as it did. Hay throws, Tomes palms, Jockray takes, burrows in. Was it an accidental offside? David Leslie, the referee, keeping a good firm grip on the game, and a feed right into the Jed feet, and Greg Oliver out to Gass for the drop kick, sliced. Now David Leslie noticed that Ron Kirkpatrick hadn't retired He hadn't gone back the 10 metres. And even if the kick is taken quickly, you still have to try and go back until an opponent has gone 5 metres with the ball. So it was a very good bit of detecting there by David Leslie, the referee. And it's given Hawick a second shot. Again to Colin Gass. Will he hit it right this time? Yes, he has, straight through. And Colin Gass kicks his 46th drop goal for Hawick. And he's cut their deficit to 9 points to 3 with just 3 minutes of the second half over. It really was a great refereeing decision and a lovely pass. Jerry McGuinness acting as a kind of decoy, and Gass had a bit more time this time, and it was plumb through. Well, that Jed scrummage has stuck in well. It really has, considering they're almost a stone a man lighter. That shield with the huge Gary Owen, what an awkward ball that is. Pick up and drive, Callum Brown driving. Now it's Armstrong. Armstrong changing direction. Out to Douglas. Bad pass there to Dixon. This is Amos. Amos still half through. Taken on by Armstrong. Now it's Douglas again. Douglas protects the ball well, doesn't he? Notice how he lifted it over the opponent and still had control of it. Andrew Douglas here, who also played for the South in their 2 matches in Ireland, just 18, and a great prospect. Oliver again to Gass. And once more, Colin Gass finding his touch, but that time he wanted a bit more distance to it, I'm sure. As Alistair Campbell was in there driving, as they have always taken there. There's Campbell, number 8. There's the roll away by Tate, but good driving by the Jed forwards. They know that the quickest way to stop a roll is to drive straight in sideways. But the Hawick forwards, now Jimmy Rayburn was round on the wrong side there, and that was a very clear case. I think Callum Brown was on the wrong side as well. And a clear case there of the penalty. And there the ample form of Gerald Michael McGuinness, known to his former West of Scotland pals as McGinty. Colin Gass then. Certainly given it enough distance. Yes, it's made it. A long kick of almost 50 metres by Colin Gass, and that really has made a tremendous game of it now. 9 points to 6, Jed Forest lead, and we've played 9 minutes of the second half. Oliver. Gass, that was Stanger. Stanger clean through, up to the 22. He's got support inside from McGuigan. McGuigan, the pass couldn't go to Hay. The pick up by Ray. Just 5 metres short of the Jed line. A brilliant run by Stanger. And Jed penalised right in front of their own post. It may have been for, was it deliberately knocking the ball down? But what a scything run by Stanger. Came right off, got the ball from Oliver, clean through the middle, looked for support, got it with McGuigan there, and if Jim Hay had been able to take the pass, he was home and dry. The upshot, a penalty kick for Colin Gass. One that he should find fairly simple, and indeed does. And so Colin Gass, with his second penalty goal and 1 drop goal, has tied the score at 9 points all. They've played 11 minutes of the second half. Oliver again to Gass. Gass, the little chip kick this time. Dixon. And the kick on by Stanger. Up comes Bannerman. Bannerman driving it on. This is where the control's needed. A magnificent pick up by Rank. The feed on to Hay. The try is given. And the first try of the match to the Hawick hook of Jim Hay. And it was the little chip kick by Colin Gass that made it first of all. Dixon knocked on. Stanger then took it forward. Bannerman was in it as well, and eventually it was Jim Hay who cottoned on to the pass which Brian Rennick had delivered, and that's the first try of the match, and Hawick in the lead. Shows you how vital it is for forwards to keep running no matter what's happening. Gass again, and absolutely dead sure on that one. And so Jim Hay scores his second try for Hawick this season. They played only 6 matches, so that gets him into the Hookers Guild, and Colin Gass here hoists his points to 11, and Hawick are leading 15 points to 9, and they played about 14 minutes of the second half. Oliver, super reverse pass to Gas. Now what's he going to do? Well, need you ask? The Gary Owen again. Up goes Stephen Sutherland. Took it beautifully. Got to his feet well. Right forwards going well now as it's taken on there by Campbell. Tomes number 5 driving. Almost up to the Jed line. Oliver wants it. Campbell trying to rip it clear. The Hawick captain of the day. Now it's Alistair Emery in. Now Oliver. Oliver to Gas. Gas to Stanger. Stanger is through. The second try. And so Hawick have suddenly shot from being down by 9 points to 0 to leading by 19-9 in next to no time. Tony Stanger got the try, but it was the drive by the forwards that made it. The smuggling and then eventually the ripping. Alistair Campbell and Alistair Emery working the ball clear. And then the feed out to Gas, and well, Stanger's big and powerful, and there was no stopping him from there. Pick up by Kirkpatrick. Armstrong has width. Now it's Shield. There's a real chance here as Dixon comes in out to Harry Hogg. Hogg well tackled by Thompson. Pick up there by Liddell. And that was Gary Armstrong trying to throw Stanley McGuigan out of the way. Hawick going over the top and penalised. Now Gary Armstrong is he's wondering what he's expected to do here, but obviously Jed going this time for the tapped. So it's there to McKechnie, on to Liddell. Super tackle there by number 4, Alistair Emery. The pick up by Rayburn. Rayburn caught by Campbell. Great effort here to rally by Jed. As I say, they got an awful lot of pride and confidence from winning the Division 2 championship last season. And of course to have won the Border League as well and beaten Kelso 3 times, that really was something for them. Kirkpatrick, Armstrong, again stopped by Alistair Campbell, the big lock forward, doing a very good defensive job in the number 8 position. Not the easiest thing for a lock forward like Campbell to fit in at number 8, but they're beautifully positioned on the side opposite the put in and took his man out. Now Kirkpatrick actually has his head's come away and he's still binding, so the referee's deciding that he's still in the scrummage. Nicely out to Armstrong. David Shield. Desperate defence by Hawick here as Bannerman got the tackle in. Then the pick up by Armstrong is there. And Gary Armstrong has done it again. By that I mean he scored another try against Hawick. It really was the culmination of tremendous pressure by the Jed forwards. First of all, the pick-up and the try to break, and then Gary Armstrong suddenly getting the ball, and with that immense strength of his, and with the veer outside, making it to the line. And McKechnie slots the conversion. And we've got a real boiling game once again. 19 points to 15, and they've about 16 minutes of the match to go. 2 20-year-old prop forwards there, Neil McElroy and Bob Johnston. Just 20, young for props in senior rugby. Foot up against Jim Hay. And Armstrong. Shield. Shield with that mazy little run of his, trying to link up with the forwards. Taken on by Harry Hogg. Thompson misses him. Campbell doesn't. Inside to Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick on there to Callum Brown. Beautiful burst out there by Jed. Now it's Armstrong. Shield. There's a real chance here as McKechnie feeds it. Along to Douglas. Dixon, Harry Hogg's in the line, out there to Amos. Amos with the kick through. Elbowing, obstruction. A penalty or a scrummage from the kick after the bit of obstruction. And Jed, I should think this time, will go for the potted goal. The lovely kick through by Kevin Amos after Harry Hogg suddenly came into the line away out on the left. And Kevin Amos with the chip through, and then the obstruction. Referee deciding couldn't be sure that a try would probably have been scored. Armstrong feeding wide to Shield, to McKechnie. Douglas stepping inside but caught by Rennick. Douglas fell well. Rayburn rips, called the Hoover because he picks up so much of that ball there. A lovely chance for Jed as Armstrong goes. Armstrong, Shield up to the 22. Hawick really, the defence stretched to the limit here, but the ball held. Jed's put in. They've played almost a minute of injury time. Hawick leading 19 points to 15. Armstrong, Shield, McKechnie the switch to Hogg. Oh, another scything tackle by Rennick. The feed on there to Liddell. Liddell caught and thrown down by Stephen Sutherland. Penalty against Hawick for being in front. Hawick must be ruining the number of penalties that they've given away. Armstrong taps and goes. Feedback there, Stanger held back by the jersey. The kick on there by Oliver. Back there goes Kevin Amos. Ball's in touch. Referee's whistle had gone to indicate the touch, but the referee's whistle has gone to indicate the end of the match. And Hawick have won a thriller. 19 points to 15. They start their campaign to regain the Division 1 title from Kelso with a hard-fought triumph over the reigning border champions Jed Forest. But Jed Forest have indicated that they've a lot to give Division 1 this season.